Hello everyone, and welcome to my video tutorial on how to set up your classroom newsletter generator. The first step is the initial setup. Let's start by making a copy. If you haven't done so already, click the link in the user manual or in the description box of this video to make a copy of the newsletter generator. You'll see a screen asking if you want to make a copy. You should click Make a Copy. In a moment, your very own newsletter will be created. This newsletter generator is owned by you and cannot be accessed by anyone else. Next, we need to get organized. In your Google Drive, click New, then Folder, and name the new folder Classroom Newsletter. Open the Google Sheet that you just made a copy of. Click the folder icon next to the title and move it into your new Classroom Newsletter folder. Next, in your Google Drive, find the form called Copy of Classroom Newsletter Photos and Attachments. Don't open it yet. Just right-click the name or click the three dots and choose Organize and Move. Move it into your Classroom Newsletter folder. Now you can open the form. Once you open it, you'll see a pop-up asking to restore the file upload folder. Go ahead and click Restore. Before you move on, make sure that the form sharing settings are correct. At the top, click the person with the plus icon, and under Responder View, click anyone with the link and then click Done. Now, if you look in the Classroom Newsletter folder in your Google Drive, you'll see another folder called Newsletter Photos and Attachments. You need to right-click on the name of that folder, choose Share, and then Share again. Change the general access to anyone with the link and make sure the role is set to Viewer. Then click Done. Finally, click the purple Publish button in the top right of the sheet. Make sure it says anyone with the link, and then click Publish. Now, let's authorize the scripts. Back in the Newsletter Generator spreadsheet, go to the Setup tab and click the button that says Click here to authorize scripts. Scripts are tiny programs built into the spreadsheet that let it do really cool things. Once you click the button, you'll see a pop-up window asking for authorization. Click OK. Choose your Google account, and then follow the prompts. If you're using a personal account, you might get a warning page. Click Advanced, then click Go to Untitled Project. Check off all of the checkboxes, and click Continue. Now your scripts are authorized, and your sheet can do things by itself. We also need to set a few triggers. When you're setting your triggers, make sure you refer to the information in the user manual so that you set them correctly. In your spreadsheet generator, you're going to go to the top menu bar and choose Extensions and then App Script. This will open a new tab. On the left-hand side, choose the icon that says Triggers. At the bottom of the page, you'll click the blue Add Trigger button. The first trigger should already be set for you, and all you have to do is click Save. It may ask you to authorize your scripts again. If it does that, just go ahead through the steps like you did previously. Authorize your scripts, and then it will save the trigger for you. Once the first trigger is saved, you'll click the blue Add Trigger button again. The second trigger is called On Edit News. So choose On Edit News from the drop-down menu. Change Event Type to On Edit and click Save. Finally, click the blue Add Trigger button one more time. Choose the Update Photo Links form or Edit. Set the event type to On Form Submit and click Save. That's all you have to do for the required triggers. If you want your weekly emails to send out automatically, you can add one more optional trigger. You would do that with the Send Weekly Emails script. So you would go back, add trigger one more time, choose Send Weekly Emails. You would set it to time driven. You would choose weekly, week timer, and choose the day of the week you want the email to be sent, probably Friday, and the time of day, probably in the late afternoon. And then you click Save. Once you do that, your email will automatically be sent every Friday afternoon at that time of day. If you change your mind, you can always delete it later by clicking on the three dots next to the trigger and choosing Delete Trigger. Choose Delete Forever and the emails will no longer send. You're almost done. Just a few more steps and your newsletter generator will be ready to use. In the Setup tab, enter the subject line you want to use for your newsletter. You can keep it the same all year or you can update it every week. Below that, enter your name. Then you'll go back to your photo and attachment submission form. Copy the entire URL at the top of the page and paste that link in the setup page right under your name. Then, back at the form, click the link icon at the top, check the box to shorten the URL, and click Copy. Paste that link into the setup page right under the form's URL. Finally, scroll to the Newsletter Safeguards section. Read through each item and check the boxes to confirm that you understand. Once all items have been checked, that's it. Your classroom newsletter generator is officially ready to use. So, let's use it. You might want to start by adding calendar events. On the setup page, you can enter calendar events from your school calendar. Just type in the date and the correct day will automatically appear. You can select the type of event and add a note. Feel free to enter all your events for the year at once. The newsletter will only display upcoming events so parents can quickly see what's ahead. If you ever want to clear out all calendar events, like when resetting for a new school year, just scroll all the way to the bottom and click Delete Calendar Events button. You can always add new events to the bottom of your list. You don't need to put them in order. The sheet will sort them for you. Now let's work on your student roster. Go to the Student Roster tab to set up your students. This is where you will enter basic information like first and last name, student ID, grade, and parent email. Once you've entered your students in, check the box in column B to mark a student as active. If a student moves away, just uncheck that box. They won't receive emails anymore. In column C, you can mark whether you have assigned photo release for each student. If the box is unchecked, that student's email won't include any photos. For example, Jim and Marcus won't receive photos unless their photo release is checked off. If some families speak a language other than English at home, you can automatically send a translated version of the newsletter. Just pick their home language from the drop-down. They'll receive both an English version and a translated one. To send only English, leave the language field blank. You may have noticed that when you first opened the photo and attachment submission form, no student names were listed. To populate the list, just click the Update Names to Photo Form button. All the active students will now be available as options. If you go back to the student roster and activate Adam or deactivate Cassandra and Jan, the choices will update accordingly. The names will refresh every time you open the sheet, or you can update them manually with the button. It's easy to build your newsletter each week. Just go to the Build Newsletter tab and start entering information. Choose the week you want to work on from the drop-down menu. When you've chosen the week that you want to fill in information for, you can start filling in information, like this week's theme, and add some information about it. Next week's theme, and add some information about it. You can add information about what skills you targeted in each subject area. You can also add weekly highlights for each day of the week that something interesting happened. And you can add classroom reminders so that parents can always be up to date about what they need to send or do for their student. The individual information section will tell you how many photos have been uploaded for each student for the current week. If it says no photos, that child does not have a signed photo release. Adding photos is easy. Just click on the link to your photo submission form at the top of the page and use this form to upload your photos. Choose which students or all students the photo should be sent to. Check off Photos. Click Next. Choose the date for the photo and browse till you find the photo. You can upload up to 5 photos at a time. Then click Submit. If you want to send photos just to specific students, check off the student name in the list, click Photos and Next. Choose the date and choose the photos that will go to that specific student. Then click Submit. Only the student checked off at the beginning will get that photo in their weekly email. Back in the Build Newsletters tab, you can add individualized information for each student. This will make their newsletter very personal. Simply enter information for each student in the fields in the individual information section. As you work, remember to click the Save Data button often. If you don't save your data, it will be lost forever when you change the week. You'll see that the sheet has the upcoming calendar events. Only future events will be included in this weekly email. These events are pulled from the Setup tab in the Calendar Events section. You cannot write in events in the Build Newsletter tab. You have to go back to the Setup tab to do it, and it will put the events in the correct order. Adding attachments to your email is done the same way as adding photos. Click on the Photo and Attachment Submission form. Choose the students who the attachment will go to and click Attachments. Then you will write a short description of the attachment and click the Add File button and find the attachment in your drive. This is a great way to attach things like permission slips, menus, schedules. You can just click Attach and then Submit, and it will be attached to the students that you selected. Back in the Build Newsletter tab, you'll now see those attachments listed in the Attachments section. If you want them added to the email that week, just check the box. Remember to always click Save Data. You can work ahead on your newsletters by choosing another week from the drop-down menu. Just choose the week, and if there's any data already saved for that week, it will appear. Otherwise, the fields will be blank, and you can begin to fill them in. Remember to always click Save Data to save your work. Once you've saved your work, you can go back to a previous week and edit that week. Continue to do this until your spreadsheet is completely filled in. It's finally time to send your newsletter. If you didn't set up the time trigger, you'll need to manually click the Send This Week's Newsletter button. No matter what week is showing that you're working on the Build Newsletter tab, the newsletter will only send this week's information, so you will never accidentally send a newsletter in advance. So click the current week, make sure that all of your information is filled in for your students, make sure that you have checked off any attachments you want to include, and that everything looks good for the newsletter. Then you just click the Send This Newsletter button, and you'll see that it is running the script to send the newsletter, and in a few moments, parents will get beautifully formatted newsletters from you. It will have information about the class, it will have information about the specific student, and it will have upcoming events. If that student had a second language indicated, their parent will also get a newsletter in that second language. You'll see that pictures are attached that were assigned to that student if they have a photo release. And newsletters can be easily accessed from the parent's phone. And that's it. Your newsletter is now up and running and will last you for years to come. If you used this newsletter and liked it, I'd appreciate it if you left a comment. Have a great day.